Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, I got an email from a subscriber. So, this one says, I need a good approach to start a conversation. I do the basic, hey, how are you? I'm Wayne. I may ask, have you been here before if we're in a bar, or compliment their outfit. But after that, I'm finished and kind of throwing a line out. I live in Detroit, and these women are a different breed. I went to school in Louisville, and it was too easy to spit game to females when I was in college. What's some good conversation starters to warm up a female? Also, how would you describe women from different parts of the country, Midwest versus Southern women versus West Coast women? My boys all say places like DC or Virginia, where the women outnumber the men, makes it so much easier to smash. The last question, besides Miami, in your opinion, name the top 5 cities with the finest women. All right. So first of all, when you guys send me questions, send me a question about one topic. This is like 3 different questions in one thing. So, real quick about the whole, what's the cities that got hot chicks? In the United States, truthfully, from what I've seen and what I've experienced, is really 3 cities that I think have the hottest chicks. That's New York, LA, and Miami. That's it. Every place else, there's of course hot chicks here and there. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as the most, I would say those are. And also, if you're going to go outside the U.S., I would say, go to, Rio, go to any other of these spots in South America, and go to Montreal. When I went to Montreal, the chicks, I think like almost 9 out of 10 chicks out there was bad in Montreal. So, yeah, go there. But anyway, to get to the first part of the question, you talk about you need a good approach to start a conversation, because you're basically saying that you would, sort of have the small talk at first, right? Now, see, this is the thing. When you're interacting with chicks, when you first approach a girl, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of small talk. So if you're saying, hey, how you doing? If you said you were in a bar, you would say, have you been here before? And you compliment her outfit and this and this and that, right? And so you're saying that after that, you don't really know what to continue to say, right? So the 2 things, I'm gonna give you 2 things that you can say when the small talk is done. You understand? Or the 2 things you should be doing, right? And one is you either close the deal, or 2 is you start flirting. You understand? You either close the deal or you start flirting. So when you close the deal, you're just basically ending the conversation and getting their information. You understand? And if you are flirting, that's you continuing the conversation. So let's say you want to keep talking to the girl, you can continue the conversation, but you have to start flirting, right? Now, the reason why you do these 2 things is because both of these things are things that's going to tell you or show you basically how interested the girl is in you, right? Because when you're, going up to a chick, let's say you're, you say, hey, what's up? And you're at a bar, you say, hey, you've been here before, or whatever, that's a little small talk. And now you're like, okay, shit, what else do I say, right? So let's say, like, for example, you see the girl, you go up to her, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm Wayne. She's like, oh, I'm Jessica. And you're like, hey, you been here before? She's like, oh, yeah, I've been here a couple times, yada, yada, yada. And now you're like, oh, I'm a compliment on her. You're thinking I'm going to compliment something she's wearing. Oh, that's a nice bracelet you got. She's like, oh, yeah, I got it from Macy's and yada, yada, yada. Now you're thinking, okay, now what do I do? Right? So now you either close the deal or you keep flirting, right? So let's say you close the deal. So you say, oh, that's a nice bracelet you got. She's like, oh, yeah, I got it from Macy's, such and such and such, whatever. So you be like, hey, listen, I'm about to bounce, but what I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to put your number in my phone, because I'm going to give you a call later. We're going to set something up so we could go on a date or something. So you're basically just closing the deal, because at this point you really have nothing else to say and you want to make something happen with her. So you just basically close the deal. You understand? Now, once you're closing this deal, she's going to either put the number in the phone, or she's going to be like, nah. You understand what I'm saying? So she's either going to do it or she's not, right? But the point is that you're basically cutting to the chase and closing the deal to see how she's going to respond to that. Now, see, the reason why you do this, right, and you don't necessarily even need to continue to keep talking to the girl, and this is what I gotta get a lot of you guys to understand, is that usually 9 times out of 10, a chick, she knows if she knows if she's feeling you within like the first 60 seconds of you interacting with her, right? What happens is, though, and this happens a lot, right? What happens is that sometimes you might talk yourself out the pussy. You understand what I'm saying? So you came up to her at first, you just kicking it a little, even with the small talk. She's like, you're having a little small talk. And at this point, she's like feeling you, right? And then if you continue to keep talking to her and keep talking about nothing, and you going on tangents and you doing all this other goofy stuff, or you're running out of stuff to say and all this other stuff, then at that point, she's like, oh yeah, I mean, he's just killing it right now. Like it's done. I'm done. You understand? That's what she's feeling, because you've talked yourself out the pussy. So when you basically start to close the deal, you understand, right after you finish that small talk, right? What happens is it saves you from talking yourself out the pussy, because you ain't really said anything yet. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't really go deep into anything, and she already was feeling you anyway, so she's okay with giving you the number. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times you don't need to continuously talk, because even in your email you said, what did you say? You said okay, I would at the bar I'll compliment her outfit, and I'm fishing, kind of throwing out a line, and so you were basically, and then you said what's some good convo starters to warm a female up. You understand? So a lot of you guys feel like you need to sort of warm these chicks up and get them, you got to do a whole bunch of building attraction and get them ready to like you. You understand? You ain't got to do all of that shit. Now, the other thing I was talking about, I said you close the deal, or if you want to continue talking to the chick, you actually just flirt with her. You start to flirt with her, right? So, let's say you're having your little small talk. You see the chick at the bar. You're like, hey, what's up? I'm Wayne. How you doing? What's your name? She's like, oh, I'm Jessica. And you're like, cool, that's what's up. So you come to this bar often? She's like, yeah, I came here a couple times. You're like, oh, that's a cool bracelet you got. Where you got that from? And she's like, oh, I got it from Macy's. My friend and I we were shopping the other day, and yada, yada, yada. So now at this point, now you're going to start flirting, because, you're talking to her with the small talk, but you're not really getting into the flirting. So, after you talk about the bracelet, you're like, hey, listen, I kind of noticed you have some really, really pretty eyes. You understand? Like, and that's some soft shit. That's, that's you flirting on some soft stuff. Or you could say some shit like, yo, you have some sexy ass lips. You understand? Like, now you are getting into the flirty mode. You understand what I'm saying? And again, the reason why you're doing this is because you want to see her reaction. You understand? So if she's reacting positively to this, right, then that means that she's feeling it. If she is, sort of like acting all funny, or, she's not trying to flirt back with you, you understand what I'm saying? If she's not blushing or whatever it is, then it shows that she's not really that into it, or she's nervous or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing is, the flirting is just you moving the situation along. You understand? See, the thing is that you don't want to get caught up too much into a lot of small talk. See, a lot of guys, what they do is when they interact with women, they do a lot of small talk, and the small talk sort of becomes too much of like a platonic thing. You understand? You're talking to her like a friend. You're not really talking to her like a guy who's trying to make something happen. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to get into that, that mode of doing that. And so when you guys are, first starting out with small talk, which is okay for like, a minute or two, which you sort of just saying, hey, what's up, blah, 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 right? You have to, after that, when you're like, damn, I'm running out of shit to say, you close the deal, or if you want to keep talking, you flirt, right? Now, see, let me explain something when it comes to the flirting, right? Because the thing is, you don't want to try to flirt, and you don't necessarily know how to flirt, and then you end up talking yourself out the pussy. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I was talking about earlier, where if you don't really know how to flirt, you don't know how to read her social cues, sort of like how she's responding to it and all this other stuff, that's the thing that's gonna mess the shit up. And then it could go from a girl who is actually interested in you and would have given you the number and exchanged numbers with you to a girl who's going to end up rejecting you. See, a lot of times, it's interesting. A lot of times when guys get rejected, it's not necessarily because she wasn't feeling you at first. It was because she was feeling you at first, and then you said or did some goofy shit that made her not feel you. You understand what I'm saying? At the point where you said, "Hey, give me your number." You understand what I'm saying? So this is why a lot of times it's even, it's good to keep the situations that you're talking to these women really short and sweet. You understand? It's okay to, interact with her a little bit with some small talk and close the deal. You understand? And if you're not going to close the deal, you flirt. It's either one of those two things when you get to that point of the conversation, where you sort of feel like, okay, what else do I say? What else do I do? You understand what I'm saying? And the reason why, again, you do those two things is because those two things are going to give you the information you need to see if this chick is really feeling you or not. Because the thing is, when you in a bracket with a girl and you're having that first, small talk type of shit, you just, you guys are just sort of, talking there. It doesn't really give you enough, like information for you to really, see if the chick is feeling you. And also sometimes, it also doesn't give the woman a lot of times enough information to see if she's going to actually respond to you in the way that she should be responding to you. So what I mean is that you have to sort of give a chick an experience in order for her to feel something, in order for her to respond. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like I was saying earlier, a chick, she will see you and she sees you coming over. Let's say she's even, she thinks you're attractive, whatever like that. And let's say you start talking to her and you're doing a small talk, and then she's feeling it, and she's like, yeah, she's thinking, I would give this guy my number. He seems cool. I want to see him again, blah, 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 blah. Right. And the thing is that she's thinking that, but then she's not necessarily feeling it yet. So she's still sort of like guessing. She's still sort of seeing if you're going to talk yourself out the pussy. You understand what I'm saying? She's like, okay, everything's going great now. Just please don't say no goofy shit. Please don't say no dumb shit. Please don't say no shit that's going to make me not want to fuck you. That's like sort of on her mind. You know what I'm saying? She's not literally saying that, to herself, but that's basically the idea. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the thing is that when you have that small talk and you close the deal, she's like, okay, yeah, cool. Here, take my number, because you haven't really said anything to talk yourself out the pussy. And it's like, you're sort of still a mystery at this point. And she was, initially feeling you anyway, which is why she gave you the number. Right now, if you, you don't, let's say you say, okay, I'm not going to close the deal yet. I'm going to continue to flirt with this chick. Right. As you're flirting, let's say, she saw you come over. She was already feeling you. You're doing the small talk. Everything's cool. And you're flirting with her, and she's already was feeling you. And now she's like, wow, I'm really feeling this guy, because like he's flirting with me. He's making me feel good. He's complimenting me. I'm liking it. He's being very assertive and confident. I'm liking that. You understand what I'm saying? And then so now you say, okay, yeah, let's exchange numbers and make that happen. So even when you have that conversation where you're flirting with the chick, again, you still have to, of course, close the deal. Right. But what I want you guys to understand is that when you are talking to these women, right, you don't have to make the shit all complicated by thinking that you have to, have these long drawn out conversations where you have to, you got to warm the girl up. You got to, build all of this attraction and all that other craziness. You understand? And like I said before, and, I talked about this in another video, when it comes to building attraction, the only type of girl you really need to build attraction with really is a chick who is sort of on the fence when it comes to you, where she's sort of like, she might be feeling you, but she's not really all the way there. You understand? But that's a whole nother topic. You understand? And you guys can look up the other video where I talk about building attraction. But at the end of the day, when you guys are having those conversations with these girls, right, and you're having your small talk and you want to keep things going, or you want to, make sure the shit goes in a smooth direction, all you need to do is close that deal. Or if you want to keep talking, you flirt. It's really that simple. All right. And guys, if you need any more advice and, more details on how to flirt with chicks, make sure you go to Bad Boy Membership and listen to the audio program, The Art of Flirting. Also listen to the other audio program called The Art of Approaching and Picking Up Women Successfully. And make sure you listen to the other audio program, which is called How to Build Sexual Tension with a Woman. So this is why you guys need to be on the Bad Boy Membership ASAP. Okay, you should have been on the Bad Boy Membership yesterday. You understand? Make sure you guys click that link below and join the Bad Boy Membership. And make sure you guys come see me in New York City on March 25th for the Bad Boy Seminar. Okay, make sure you guys click the link below to get tickets for that right now. All right, so that's pretty much it. I'm out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. Click the link below to get your tickets to the Bad Boy Seminar, which is on March 25th, 2017 in New York City in Times Square. Space is limited, so get your tickets today.
Now, before you turn off this video, I want you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below to send me a question. If you have a question on dating and relationships, I'll make a video about it. 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which teaches you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. And 3, I want you to click the link under that one to go to Bad Boy Membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month.
Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy to follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.